Okay, welcome folks. Here's our lab for Design 350 for today. This is week 7. It's Monday the 4th, and in this lab we're going to go over drawings based on the theodolite readings, and I'm going to do a demonstration of one of the 3 sets of data, and we'll see how well I do going through the whole thing. I'm not used to doing it while I'm recording and I have everything on screen, but I'm going to give it a try. So, what you'll see if you go into the week 7 setup is that the things that you're supposed to do are in here. They're in the workbook samples. There's a resource folder, and here's a link to the survey record. And under the skill development activities, which is what we're going to do in the lab, access the survey data folder, read the theodolite survey data, and record it on the survey record for T1, T2, T3. There's 3 different surveys. And then you're going to create a property line drawing for each survey, and that's going to be in AutoCAD. And this is going to be very, very, very much like the midterm activities for next week, one of the midterm activities. So let's go ahead and take a look at it and see what we've got. First, we've got, this is what the survey record looks like, and I'll go over it with you. And here are the theodolite readings. Now, they're not great. I've actually got them in higher resolution, but this will be okay. It'll be good for your work to do. And so what you see is there's the azimuth reading, there's your vertical so that you know that your sight is at 90 degrees, there's your rod reading, and there's your tape measure reading. And so we'll go through these and see how they look. So I'm going to pull this one down and bring it over to the side and bring this one up and have that one sitting there. And I'll make it just a little bit bigger. So now if we read across here, we'll read that station 1, that's where your rod is going back to your datum. Okay, so that's reading back to your datum. And our datum elevation point is here. And we're working all online today. Okay, and so our elevation point is at 0. That's our datum. And so this set of readings here translates into the information that's on here. Okay, and that's called the back sight because you're going back to your datum. And so I'm recording where my datum elevation was. I've got a distance right here I'm reading, and I'll make it bigger so that we can see it. I'm going to be going back and forth and back and forth. You can see it's 87. It's less than 0.1, so 87.0, 01, 02, 03, 04, 05, 06, 07. That's about halfway in between. 87.075. 87.075. 87.075. Okay, and here's my rod reading, which is my back sight rod reading, and it's 9, and that's really 0.1. 9.1 feet. It's pretty close to 9.1. So I got 9.1 feet. Remember, the height of the instrument is my 0 point elevation plus the back sight. So my instrument height compared to 0 of my job is 9.1. So the last thing I need is my azimuth angle so that we can draw that thing in. Well, here it is. And I can see my 3, 20, probably 324. I got to change this. This should be 324. My no, I'm going to say it's 323. 324. That looks pretty good. 324, 0 plus 8. 324, 8 minutes. And that looks, if I zoom in, it's a little past the 40, 42 seconds. So there's my first reading. Okay, and it says it's the T1 reading. So now let me get T1.1. That was to my 0 point. It is part of the boundary in this case. So let me get my next one here. Welcome in, Leah. Good to have you on board. So our next one is going to be T1.1. And so now I need to get my readings. So I'll get my, now look, the instrument height doesn't change for all of these readings, right? So my back sight plus my elevation point elevation gave me the instrument height. Now my instrument height minus my rod reading gives me the elevation at that point. So let's see what I've got here. Okay, so my rod reading is 3.1. Right, there's the 3.02468.1. 3.02040608.1. Okay, so I'm right on 3. Actually, I'm going to take that. That really looks to me that 1 goes by the big one. So it's 3.12. 3.12. Okay. And I think this one was 9.12. We'll get a little closer than 1/10 of a foot. Okay. 3.12. Okay, so now our next one is let's get the tape measure. It's 103.1. Now I got to zoom in on it. 103.1. 0.11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 5, halfway in between. Oop, darn it, what did I just do there? Hopefully I didn't just lose the whole, I think I just closed the whole thing. I hate it when I do that. No, I didn't close the meeting. I closed the view that I had. There we go. Got it back. Okay, so I'm at 103.18. 103.18. That looks pretty close. 103.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's my distance. So I've done my rod reading. I've done my distance. Now I need to read my azimuth. So let me zoom in on that again. .209. That's my angle. 209 degrees. 27. 27, and 45, 46. There we go. Okay, and then I know my elevation point is my height of my instrument minus my rod reading. And I can look that up and see that it's 6. Okay, T1.2. Got to read that one now. Okay, so my tape is 93 point. 93.12. 0.11. I could zoom in more, but 93.11. That's going to be my distance, 93.11. Let me get my elevation here. 4.12. 4.12. And that means that this is going to equal 9.12 minus 4.12. How did that work? I typed it in wrong. There we go. And now I need my rod reading. So 164 is bracketing that one. So it's 164. And it's around the 50 and the 2. 52. And that looks, it's just shy of the 40. So it's going to be between 35 and 40. I'll call it 38. You're not going to get much closer than that. Okay, I got a couple more points to get. T1.3. Here's T1.3. Let me come over here and get my rod reading. 63.123.4. 63.34. And my elevation, my rod reading, sorry, is 5.12. Well, I can see how that's going. I don't even need this. But I'll do it anyway. And now I get my rod, my azimuth reading, 79 degrees. +30 plus 7. See, I'm bracketing the 30 and I'm in the 7. So 37. And what would you guess that one, Nick? Well, let's see. I look at there's 20, there's 40, 30 is going to be about right there. 28 or so? 28 or 29? Yep. Okay, so here we go. Got another one to do. How about that one on the distance? Yeah, pretty close. And then my foresight reading 5.12 again, same one. Okay, and here we're back over here. So read this one out for me. Yeah, it looks pretty much right on 0, doesn't it? Okay. And we have one more point to get. So here we go. Oop. Leah, are you able to read this one out? This one's a little odd. Look, there's 78 up there. So this must be 77 down here. So it's going to be like 7. What do you think it is, Leah?
Would it be 77? Let me see. 77.47?
Yeah, I think that's pretty close. Oops. Cool. Um, oh, got an interesting rod reading here. So we've got, what do you call that one? 7.
7.81?
And this one, what do you call? Oh, here we are back on. What do you call that one? I look at that one as sort of,
Okay, I can see it a little bit better now.
yeah.
That would be 54, 8,
Oops, here we go.
and it's like right on the 40?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so those are our readings. So that's what you're gonna end up doing, right? And let's see if I can get these all to look a little nicer. So there we go. So as we go through, that's sort of that's that's how this thing is going to measure out for us. Okay? So now we have to draw it. So let me move this over to the side and bring up my AutoCAD and start a new drawing. And let's see, do I have to do anything here? No, I got most of it. I'm going to get it squeezed down a little bit so I can see them both at once. That's not great, but it's not too bad. Okay, and these are all our elevations. I can move this over. And remember, I can go find my resource drawing to get myself my layers. So open. Oh, it's over here. Sorry, it is all in weird spots on here. I'm looking for my resource drawing. There we go. Got it. Good. Now I can get all my stuff into here. So this is going to be, I'm going to rename this. I'm going to file save as. And I'll put it in my week 7. I got to put it in the right week 7. And this is going to be my T1 property lines. Okay, and you guys remember that I can type DC for Design Center. and it keeps coming up on other screens, but that's okay. And I can look at my open drawings, and I can get my layers. I'm definitely going to need C-prop, maybe a center line, maybe depth points, probably construction, probably dimensions, text, thick, and thin. Let's see what I got in here now. Yes, this is being recorded. Phew, huh? So there, I got all my layers in. And then I'm probably going to need to put it on a layout. So I'm going to look at I'll just do my architectural B layout. So I've got, now you guys should all have some sort of a resource file. If you need a copy of my resource file, I think I put it somewhere, but I can load it up for you. Okay. So now I can close my design center, close my properties for now, and go into my model. And remember, I have to do a few things, right? I have to make sure that my units are set for decimal feet, and my angles are degrees, minutes, seconds, and I'm clockwise, and I set for 3 places. I think I'm set now to be able to draw. And I'll make sure that my line weights are set appropriately. Oh, they're over here. Inches, yes they are. Okay, so I'm going to go and put myself onto my construction layer. I'm going to start drawing these. And I'll put my T1 at 0, 0, just cause. So I'll go from 0, 0. And then my next one is from where I'm at, 87.075, at an angle 324 degrees, 8 minutes, 42 seconds. So that's my T0, that's my spot, and that's got an elevation of 0. And I'm just going to put it in here in any old way right now. And I'm going to label it as T1. And my elevation equals 0.00. Because I'm always doing it. I'll probably turn it off later on. But I've got it on my construction layer, so I'm okay. So now let me get my next point. From my endpoint, from where I'm at, what do I read there? 103.18 at an angle 209 degrees, 27 minutes, 45 seconds. Looks good. And that, as I go, I can now copy these. And that becomes T1.1. And it's got an elevation of 6 feet. Okay, then I've got from 0, 0. What's my next one? From where I'm at, I got to get my next line in there, 93.11 at an angle of 164D, 52 minutes, 38 seconds. And see why our sheet is sort of set up this way? you can just kind of march across a little bit. Now I got to come back over to here to get this elevation. So that's T1.2 at an elevation of 5. So a new line from 0, 0. So these don't take a huge amount of time, but I mean, it takes a little bit of, you know, working around and making sure everything's okay. Okay, so now it's from where I'm at. I'm doing T1.3, so 63.34 at an angle of 79D, 37 minutes, and 28 seconds. And there are fast ways to do this, but I tend to get lost in the fast ways. I'd rather just plug and chug through. So this one is 1.3 and its elevation is 4, right? Let's see, where's my next spot? Now I'm on T1.4. So draw a line from 0, 0. Line from 0, 0. Where I'm at 0.10 feet at an angle of 39D, 52 minutes, 00 seconds. And that one also has an elevation of 4, correct? Okay, now we've got one more, right? So draw a line from, draw a line from 0, 0, from where I'm at, and I'm going to go 77.47 at an angle 77 at an angle 54D, 8 minutes 40 seconds. And that's at 1.31. And so I obviously got those two out of order, but that's okay. So there's my property. Okay, and T1 happened to be at my 0, corner of my property. So I'm going to go ahead now and get off of my construction layer and go to CProp. And I just don't know what's up with my settings. And that should look somewhat familiar. It's not exactly the same, but what is that one? Should be very close to your DT100. Look at that. That was supposed to be 160 due west, and you're pretty close. 179.5436. Yep, but there it is. There's most, and I've changed it around. I put the dip in here. I made this not perfectly straight, but that's pretty good. I mean, I was reading those readings, came out pretty close. So now let's go back over to here. Oh, first thing I need to do is I'm going to close up my properties, double click so I'm fully scaled here. And that way when I come over here and I put myself on my def points layer and I go layout tool, rectangular, I'm going to get a good sized drawing here. Okay. And so now what do I need to do? I need to do all my stuff, right? So first I want to get a reasonable scale. So that's probably going to be either a 1 equals 20 or a 1 equals 30. Probably a 1 equals 20. Looks pretty good. Okay, and so I can put that on my scale down here. Double click, scale. So now I know what that is. And then I have to just go back and do all of my cool stuff that I'm supposed to do. Right? So I'll put in my donuts. I'll put myself onto probably my text or my thin layer. I'll put them on my thin layer and I'll put a donut at each one of those. My inside diameter is 0. My outside is, let's say, 0.18 maybe will be a good one. Let's just see. That looks like a good size. Okay, I do definitely need a north arrow. Remember how to get those? Tool palette is a really good way. You can just draw one too. But I think there's some arrows. There we go. There we go. Got a north arrow. I like other ones better, but that one works. Well, I used one. Supposedly you've been through a couple classes and have them, but I'll give you a copy of the resource file where I have them. You can also go on to the DT100 folder on your desktop, and there's some title blocks in there. And I don't know why that one's not showing. What layer do I have that on? It's on my thin layer. I don't know why that one's not showing up over here. That's really weird. I don't, some weird annotative thing. That's why. I'm just going to delete that thing and I'm going to make myself an arrow. You guys know how to do that with the polyline command? So there we go. And then I can come up here, width, with a starting width of 0, and I'll make it like 4. So there's my north arrow. I can make that width a little bit more if I want to. My ending width, I'll make it 6. Looks a little better. And then, of course, I also need something that's 100 feet long. Or 50. 50 will probably do. So remember, we always try to put something on here. So that if somebody just has an image of this, they could read it and get some sort of a scale off of it. Right? And that goes in model space. So that you can't mess it up from over here. Okay, I'm going to make this full size now. Right, what else is needed? We need to put on our property lines. We need an area and a perimeter like what we've done before. And then we need the elevation marks on here. Okay, and so you guys remember how to get that, right? You can go into your properties. There's your length. There's your angle. Okay, now if you'd like to, you could change your units right now back to surveyors. And then you can get it in surveyors. Okay, so either way, you can put it in angles, but usually on your properties, you're putting it in as survey. So you can make like a copy of that. I don't know if this actually hit the copy, but DT. No, you have to go read them. You're supposed to read them. Yeah, so those are all in the directory for you to be able to get. So that's the type of thing that you're going to do there. Okay, so you'll put those on each one, and then also on each one. And that should also be on an appropriate layer. Okay, so you'll do that all the way around. You'll have a scale, you'll have a north arrow, you'll have your property lines, the donut at each point, and you'll have a length and an angle on each one. And now to get your construction lines not to show up in here, you'll click paper to model, and then you'll go up to your layers and you'll say construction high freeze in the viewport. And then go back to your piece of paper. Now the reason that's cool is I can still see it all right here. Okay? So we'll get all those done. There's 3 of them to do. So I'll go ahead and do a save on this. So 3 properties to do by reading the stuff. I did that in about an hour. So that's 3 hours worth of work. There's going to be some that I'll demonstrate on Wednesday also to do the simulation. But I want to get these ones done for you first. Your record gets made from the readings that are in here. So there's all of the images, and you can get they're pretty close. They're not perfect, but they're pretty close. And away you go. Okay? Any questions? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let's just make sure that I've got everything that I want to show. So you've got this, you've got this. This is what you're doing right here. Skill development activities, create property line drawings for each survey, T1, T2, and T3. And there we go. So I'll go over all the rest of this. I think I've got, oh, I don't have my template linked up in here. Again, you'll put your survey record and your drawing in. Okay, if you want, you can also add all the images that you use for your readings, but that'll be okay. Okay, so there we go. That's it. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording.